before I start to try to hold other people accountable, right? The way I engage my power is my leverage point, my best leverage point is to focus on the guy in the mirror. Am I holding myself accountable? First, it's the way I move, especially if I consistently tend to attract the same energy.
I'm not gonna be a simp ass nigga that say, oh no, I'm gonna tell you fucking up. Now,
when somebody says, I'm not gonna be a simp ass nigga, I don't know how to speak the ATL accent, sorry. There is a good chance, not an absolute. I'm just saying, he will have to prove to me that he's not a simp now, suddenly. Because anything you focus on, anything the mind focuses on expands. It doesn't matter what you want or what you want to be or what you don't want to be. The mind doesn't care about the don't part of it. The mind cares about the subject of the matter. I'm not gonna be a simp ass nigga. A typical woman will start looking at you as, that's weird. You're going to attract the energy that simps generally attract. And that's usually a pushback. And you can see that in all of the faces, including Island Girl Q, who tends to agree with them or try. I don't think she agrees, but she tried to understand them. She's a little bit more patient than the rest of the ladies. Try to understand them. But you can read her body language that it's a little uncomfortable for her. Again, what kind of energy are you attracting when you're engaging the ladies? Maybe I'm taking it too far. It's just YouTube. I'm just saying, when we translate this to application in real life, whatever energy that you're attracting, the way you engage your power is to be aware of it and take responsibility for it. It's not a crime, it's just be aware of it. As a man, you're playing a game of life, right? So if you want people on your side, you want your relationships to work in your favor, you got to pay attention to that without worrying about if somebody is signing you or shaming you or insulting you. If they insulted you, you're right. They're goddamn wrong. You're right. But that's not game. Let's not worry about the fact they're right or wrong. If this is a consistent thing that's happening to you, you should pay attention. Pay attention to why are you attracting this kind of energy in this social construct? What are you just gonna be like, nah, fuck this woman? Nah. You're not gonna get the result you're looking for because you'll continue to bitch about the behaviors that you can't really control, right? So let's finish it. So he attracted exactly what he deserved. This is what I mean by you attract who you are. Attract who you are, people receive that. But that's environmental factor. That's the weather. That's like the weather. The weather is going to do what it does, right? Because why? That's another human being entirely, right? But if they're too comfortable being around you and coming for you all the time, there's something about you. There's something about you. Or maybe I'm wrong. It's just YouTube. It's not that deep. I would happily agree with that as well. Let's continue.
I look at Kayla eyes and look at K eyes. Because guess what? They know I'm going to keep it 1,100.
I don't care.
All right? And I still love you, baby.
Guess where the manosphere is undefeated? Guess where? In keeping it 1,100. The facts. Truth. You cannot compete with them on that. I give them that 100% of the time. That doesn't change the fact that you're going to create the results that you don't like all the time too. Right? It's just a fair game. You want to be engaged on being right, the need to be right, you win. You're right. Now let's look at your results that you're creating. Data. Are you creating the results that you want? If not, you have to look in the mirror, right? So why is it that they're, in this moment at least, they're being more patient than him? Okay, it's not that deep. Maybe I'm taking it way too deep. That's a stretch.
All right, go ahead.
All right, let me tell the priest to get the tub in here right now.
All right, so that was that clip right there. Let me just go ahead and spend the rest of this time on this young lady right here, Meagan Good. Let's talk about Meagan Good.
I'm doing Meagan good. I'm doing Meagan good. I'm doing Meagan good.
All right, so let's talk about Meagan Good, right? Meagan Good. I wanted to cover this because this is it has everything to do with what we're talking about, right? That we will continue to talk about. She's not. I hate to say this was predictable. Okay, this was predictable, but when I say something is predictable, it doesn't mean I'm always I predict a lot of stuff, and you will see me predict a lot of stuff on this platform, and then you can probably hold me accountable when I'm wrong. Maybe 1% of the time I could be wrong, but I always say human behavior. Humans have patterns. Humans are predictable. Okay, humans in general are predictable, right? Humans in general are very predictable. But when you work on yourself as an individual, you work on yourself, even as a Christian, you read your Bible. You know, I'm not a religious Christian. I'm a church boy. I play the keyboard in church. You can probably see my keyboard behind me too, right? So I have a familiarity with the church, but more so from a standpoint of Nigerian churches, but I grew up in church. So I understand the culture. So Black Americans and Africans' way of doing church are very similar in nature. It's a lot of diabolic energy, and there's no real growth. The only growth that people experience for the most part is just religious belief systems, meaning extremes that are not necessarily applicable in real life, and they can find verses in the Bible to justify everything. When they came out about almost a decade ago, and they were, there's just something that was off. And the part that was really playing to me at that time, right? The part that kept playing back to me at that time was the Bible verse. That I don't know, maybe you guys can help me. I'm not really big on memorizing Bible verse. It's somewhere in Corinthians. It's something about do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. I think it may be 14:6, something like that. But I'm terrible in reciting Bible verses, right? And honestly, to be frank with you, I've never been interested in it, because I always looked at people that regurgitate and they're very quick to recite. I always look at them as lame, because I always look at them as manipulative. They tend to be off in terms of application. But anyway, I love that